Most people carrying a gun right now are basically just walking loot boxes for criminals because they're making mistakes that are honestly embarrassing. You might think you're the sheepdog in the room, but if you're falling for these common blunders, you're actually the biggest liability to yourself and your family. We've combed through data from top trainers and real-world incidents to find the absolute dumbest things owners do that get them printed, arrested, or worse. In this video, we're counting down 9 massive screw-ups, including one mistake involving your wardrobe that basically screams, "I have a gun," to everyone in the room. If you want to stop being a target and start being a professional, you need to see which of these you're accidentally doing every single day. Now let's dive in. Number 9. Using a floppy dress belt. Trying to carry a pound or two of loaded metal on a regular leather belt from a department store is a recipe for a miserable experience. Those thin, flimsy belts are designed to hold your pants up, not to support the weight of a firearm in a holster. When you use a weak belt, the gun is going to sag outward, pull your pants down, and twist around while you walk. This makes the gun print through your clothes way more than it should, and it makes your draw slow and unpredictable. A real gun belt is reinforced with a stiff core, usually made of plastic or nylon, that keeps it from sagging or rolling. This stiffness distributes the weight of the gun around your entire waist, making it feel much lighter and keeping it in the exact same spot all day long. If you can pinch the top and bottom of your belt and it folds over easily, it isn't strong enough to carry. Spending the money on a dedicated stiff belt is just as important as the gun itself because it's the foundation that everything else sits on. Number 8. Buying a junk holster. The absolute worst thing you can do is buy a beautiful, expensive firearm and then stick it in a $5 nylon pouch from the bottom of a bargain bin. A cheap holster is a liability because it often lacks the structural integrity to stay open after you draw, meaning you'll be poking yourself trying to reholster. Even worse, many cheap holsters don't fully cover the trigger guard or are made of soft materials that can actually fold into the trigger guard, causing the gun to go off while it's still on your hip. You need a holster made of high-quality Kydex or thick, reinforced leather that is specifically molded for your exact model of firearm. It should have active or passive retention that clicks into place so the gun won't fall out if you have to run or if you trip. If your holster costs less than a decent dinner out with your friends, it is probably garbage that is going to fail you when you need it most. Invest in a reputable brand that fits your body and your gun perfectly, because your life literally depends on that piece of plastic or leather doing its job. Number 7. Playing the touch game. New carriers are famous for the touch, which is that subconscious habit of constantly patting their hip or tugging at their shirt to make sure the gun is still there. You might think you are being subtle, but to anyone who knows what to look for, you are screaming that you have a weapon. It's a nervous tic that comes from not being comfortable with your gear, and it's the number one way that plainclothes security and experienced criminals spot a carrier in a crowd. You have to train yourself to trust your equipment so you don't feel the need to check on it every 30 seconds. If your holster is high quality and your belt is tight, that gun isn't going anywhere. If you absolutely have to adjust yourself because something shifted or got uncomfortable, wait until you are in a private place like a bathroom stall or back in your car. The more you carry, the more normal it will feel, and eventually you won't even notice it's there, which means nobody else will notice it either. Number 6. The range warrior syndrome. Standing still in a climate-controlled room and shooting at a paper target that isn't moving doesn't mean you know how to defend yourself. Most people have zero training when it comes to drawing from a holster under a shirt, clearing a malfunction with one hand, or shooting while moving toward cover. When the adrenaline hits, your fine motor skills are going to disappear and you will fall back on whatever level of training you have actually burned into your muscle memory. If you haven't practiced dry firing at home or taken a professional class that puts you under a bit of stress, you are just guessing. You need to know how to get your gun into the fight quickly and safely without shooting yourself in the leg or fumbling with your clothing. Taking a class isn't just for beginners. Even the best shooters in the world are constantly training because these skills vanish fast if you don't use them. Before you go any further, make sure you hit that subscribe button for guns you can't live without so you can stay up to date on the best gear and training tips to keep you sharp. Number 5. Dressing like a cartoon character. Wearing skin-tight shirts or thin fabrics that show every single contour of your forearm is essentially the same as carrying it openly. This is called printing, and it's a huge mistake because it removes the entire advantage of carrying concealed. If every person in the grocery store can see the outline of your grip every time you reach for a box of cereal, you aren't hidden, you are just being sloppy. You might as well be waving a flag that says, "I have a gun," which makes you the first person a criminal is going to target. You have to learn to dress around the gun, not try to force the gun into your favorite outfit from 5 years ago. This usually means wearing tops that are a bit looser, using patterned fabrics like flannel or camo that break up shadows, and choosing darker colors that hide the edges of your holster. Layers are your best friend, whether it's a light jacket or an unbuttoned shirt over a tee. If you can't move naturally without your weapon poking through your clothes, you need to change your wardrobe or find a different way to carry. Number 4. The intermittent carry trap. Deciding that you only need to carry when you are going to a bad neighborhood is one of the most flawed logic loops you can fall into. If you knew where a crime was going to happen, you would just stay home that day instead of going there with a gun. Trouble doesn't make an appointment, and it doesn't care if you are just running to the corner store for a gallon of milk or taking the trash out to the curb. Many people also fall for the trap of off-body carry, like sticking their gun in a purse, a backpack, or the glove box of their car. This is dangerous because you are often separated from those items, making the gun easy to steal or impossible to reach when seconds count. If someone grabs your bag, they now have your gun, and you are left with nothing. Make it a habit to carry on your body every single day, from the time you put your pants on until the time you go to bed, so that it becomes a natural part of your life rather than an occasional chore. Number 3. Carrying a lint-filled paperweight. You would probably never let your car go years without an oil change, yet some people treat their carry gun like it's a piece of jewelry that never needs maintenance. Your firearm lives in a world of pocket lint, body sweat, dust, and dead skin cells, all of which love to get inside the action and gum things up. If you haven't cleaned or even looked at your weapon in months, there is a very real chance it won't go bang when you actually need it to. Sweat is especially brutal because the salt will eat through even the best finishes over time, leading to rust that can seize up your sights or your trigger. You should be doing a quick inspection every single week to make sure everything is clear of debris and that your holster screws haven't vibrated loose. Also, don't forget that ammo has a shelf life when it's exposed to moisture and temperature swings. Rotate your carry ammo out every few months by shooting it at the range and loading in fresh rounds so you know for a fact that your primers are still good. Number 2. Going out half prepared. A lot of guys think that a single magazine and a can-do attitude are all they need to survive a bad day. In reality, mechanical things break, and people miss their shots when their heart is pounding at 100 beats per minute. If your gun jams or you run through those first few rounds without stopping the threat, you are going to wish you had the spare magazine that you left sitting on your dresser. It's not just about more bullets, it's about having a backup plan for when things go sideways, which they almost always do in a real struggle. Beyond just the ammo, you need to realize that more people die from bleeding out than from the actual initial confrontation. Carrying a gun without carrying a basic medical kit like a tourniquet and some gauze is honestly pretty reckless. If you are prepared to put holes in things, you absolutely have to be prepared to plug them too. A compact medical kit doesn't take up much room, and in many cases, you are more likely to use that tourniquet to help a car crash victim or a workplace accident than you are to ever pull your trigger. Number 1. Legal blindness. Thinking that your rights are the only permit you need is a one-way ticket to a felony charge and a lifetime of regret. It doesn't matter what you think the law should be, it matters what the police and the judge say the law actually is in this specific spot where you are standing. Many owners get comfortable in their home state and then cross a border into a place where their permit isn't recognized, and suddenly they are looking at serious jail time for a simple mistake. You have to do the homework before you leave the house, especially if you are traveling. Check the reciprocity maps and know exactly where you are allowed to carry and where you aren't. Carrying into a prohibited spot like a federal building or a school zone because you didn't see the sign isn't an excuse that works in court. Being a responsible owner means being a legal expert on your own local and state codes so you don't lose your rights forever over a moment of laziness. If you can fix these 9 common screw-ups, you are already miles ahead of the average person at the range. Subscribe to Guns You Can't Live Without so you don't end up carrying a lint-filled paperweight.